Rocha Boisai. Little Spasi Mimerosur is the Smordachai. It's also a good thing. No. It's good. They heard it. Welcome, Bruchim Habayim, to all the guests. We have the whole Cohen / who else? Who? Fletcher. The Fletcher Mishpoches. Shalom Aleichem, what's your name?
Eli Kornfein from Switzerland.
Eli Kornfein?
Kornfein.
Fine. How you related?
Brother-in-law.
You're his brother. You're his brother-in-law. It starts with him. He's been in the shir before you, Shavs, you know? He knew about it before you. Shalom Aleichem. Remind me your first name. David Cohen. Rabbi Isai, Shidduch for Shabsi Cohen's brother. Anybody? Look at him. He's not only Shabsi Cohen's brother, but he's also a good-looking guy. The whole Zav. Look at him. Look at the busha. This busha should give you a Shidduch b'meira. Wow, look who's here. Shalom Aleichem. Remind us your name.
Jonathan Austin.
From?
Renana.
That's right. Renana. Jonathan, Shalom Aleichem. Mazel tov. You were here like half a year ago? Half a year ago. Okay. Since Brachas. You're with us since maybe before Brachas.
I want to say yes, but if I'm honest, no. Shabbos.
Shabbos Yidbais. What's your name? Zevachim Fletcher. Since Tainus. Wow, the ganze Shvucha. Who's this guy next to you? What's your name?
Ariel
Edelman. From?
Atlanta, Georgia.
No way. You're all to...
Yeah.
Shalom Aleichem.
Eric Edelman.
Shalom Aleichem. And this guy?
Ezra Edelman.
So you know my brother-in-law, the catches.
Of course, they're in the yeshiva.
That's right. Who's this guy? Also Edelman?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Shalom Aleichem. Cool. Send regards. You probably speak to them more than I do.
Every day.
My brother-in-law, I saw him at a chasana now. He tells me, a guy comes over to me and says, "What? You related to Stefansky?" Yeah. What? Do you get to speak to him? It's not funny. It's a good kasha. Who else do we have here? You look like a little new. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? From? Montreal. Shalom Aleichem. Givaldi. Well, you know the guy. You're all excited. Oh, you. What's your name? From where? Netanya. Very cool. Also cool. Shalom Aleichem. Who else? He doesn't want to be known. You want to say hello? He doesn't want to say hello. What do you? He's like, this guy. I can tell. He's hiding. Okay, fine. The cameras can see you. Who else? You guys are new? What's your names? From where? London. And what's your name first? Joshie Green. Shalom Aleichem from London. A lot of guys from England. Givaldik. Rabbi said, first of all, if you're in America, so the Melava Malka is sold out. And anybody that's actually coming for Shabbat, Shabbat, are you coming for the Shabbaton? What's Pshat? Oh, so those who want to come in through the back entrance, look what it says over here. Look, this is for you. I was wondering why they put it on here. Due to fire safety regulations for crowd size, entry to the building for the Melava Malka event requires a ticket. For every person joining, there will be security. And those who know how to get in through different, because they have statuses and they know how to. Yeah. That's what I'm talking to him. The Shalom Rands of the world. They get in. I don't know how. They pretend they work in the kitchen and somehow they get in. They have their little tricks.
A raffle.
Huh?
Are you making a raffle?
Here. We have a raffle. So we already have one winner. MDY is very lucky because the first guy that won, he lives in the 5 towns, so we don't have to pay for his tickets. I'm really hoping that people from Eretz Yisrael will win around the world. The next one is this Sunday, tomorrow night at 10 p.m. New York time. So we'll basically have the second raffle on Monday morning. So Rabbi Yisai, again, to remind the Olam, money's coming in for MDY. It's geschmack. It's a great way to raise money for a moisid. It is 100% Meiser money. You could give it to Meiser because the money is going straight to MDY. If you want to know exactly where it's going to, it's going for my private jet. Be'ezer Hashem.
What's the raffle?
The raffle's for a room for two.
Not for you, not relevant.
If you could fly, we already have. Micey, could you get us a good deal, maybe? Gulfstream, nothing less than a Gulfstream. I need a bed. That's what I need. And none of these fancy chairs. I need it to lay down straight. Let me just say this. But Mistama tomorrow. The reason why I said it as a joke, maybe somebody in America has one that he could lend us for a few days. I was speaking to the guys in America, and right after the Shabbaton, I'm going to be making 3 major stops in 3 cities. We'll announce exactly where, but there's a lot of traveling involved. Okay, one day, I was watching a short video of the moving, inspiring highlights from the most recent Siyum HaShas in MetLife. I'm imagining the feeling of elation and chizuk that I and many thousands of others would experience for Eli introduced the next Siyum to begin Brachas Daf Beis. That's not going to happen, I'll tell you right now. An excited hush will come over the crowd as Rebbe Eli would stand out in front with the microphone, eyes filled with emotion. Then with his familiar and comforting voice, he would begin, "Good afternoon, Rabbi Isai." The in the stadium would surely pierce the heavens and penetrate every heart in Klal Yisrael. Just the thought, J.J. Ryder. So they already let me know, the guys over there from the Siyum Shas, that when I speak, I shouldn't do that. We don't want to hear, the Moetzes doesn't want to hear your ah. Okay, so. A Gittin Rebelli, my brother came home from the hospital about a week ago and brought this bottle home with him. He gave it to me because he didn't want it. And when I looked at the cover to open it, I got a pleasant surprise. Here's the cover. Sponsored by eCopier. So anyway, the reason why I'm reading this email is for something else. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I'll make it to Shabbaton. Regards, Ushashmil Has, since Bubasr in the Kif Mems. P.S. Mazel Tov, happy birthday to Yonatan Eitan. I daven for you every day, he says, this guy. Shmil, yeah, Ushashmil Has, davens for you every day. All right, Rabbi Isai, the Masechta sponsored, talking about David Salomon. David Salomon dedicated in memory of Avi Moiri, Reb Shmuel, Baruch, Ben Reb Chaim Tzvi, Dov Zechron Levrach, anonymous. Leilu Nishmas Doidi Shlomi Yehuda ben Shmuel Chayim Asher Shoka V'Lom Kachim Kol Chayiv. Anonymous. L'zeich Nishmas Nochem Tzvi ben David. Sponsored by Skyber Capital in honor of our friends Meir Kovacs, Taki and Shashi Shlavrak for their devotion to Torah study in the Shir. Joel Gedalius, Leilu Nishmas, my father Jack Gedalius. Anonymous Atzlocha Baruch Nizu B'Gashmius. Anonymous from London Atzlocha B'Parnasa. Ariel Simon, monthly sponsor, Refuah Shlema V'Moiri Baruch B'Miriam. Anonymous, Refuah Shlema Esther Bas Luna. Refuah Shlema Esther Bas Luna. Esther Walkenstein. Mazel Tov to my husband, Kalman Natano Walkenstein, on his 40th birthday. Anonymous, Baruch Abli Baruch Tzvinissim Ben Shoshana Leah, V'Yehuda Ben Yomim Ben Chava. Weekly sponsors, MDY Zoom Mishpacha, in memory of our dear friend, Mr. Henry Rosenblatt, Olav Shalom of Kibbutz Lavi. One of his best friends, if not his best friend, is Nachum Katz. Nachum Katz, who comes to share every day. And when Nachum isn't there, so Henry would text him, "Where are you? I'm watching the shir live, you're not there." Henry Rosenblatt of Kibbutz Lavi, his friendly and kind-hearted personality brightened our day. Yehi Zichri Baruch. That's why I tell her, I don't want to be, this, but nobody knows how long they're going to live. He had no clue. He wasn't sick. He gets up in the morning, goes to the factory, and where he works, a massive machine crushed him. Took hours to take it off of him. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. We have these stories. A 30-year-old was nifted from our shir, and it happens all the time. Nobody is guaranteed to live a long life, and that's why we have to chaperein. We have to chaperein while we're here. Marvin Diamond, in memory of my father Paul, Pesach Hillel ben Avram Tzvi, and my mother Sonia, Sarah Etya Bas Avram. Stephen Rubenstein, Lilishmas Imi Murati, Esther Bat Pesach, the Mishpachat Rubenstein. Daily sponsors, Benny Rodnik. Wow. In honor of my 4th, choking up. My 4th year with the DAF, never missing a day. Yes. Last time. Oh, wow. What is this? Wow. Come here. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. He doesn't miss a daf, not in Hebrew, not in English. And this guy is responsible for bringing thousands of Yidden to Torah in the Hebrew shir. Be'ez Hashem in the English shir also. I have to read this? You want me to cry Baravim now? 4 years ago, I stepped into the Beis Medrash. Who would have believed that I would be sitting here next to you day after day for 4 years straight, learning over 2,000 daf in English and Hebrew, B'siyat Shmai without missing a day. There's a shir starting in a minute or two, so I won't go into anything too personal. You changed my life, belongs to the 80s. The way to describe what this shir did for me is more like Pinui Binui. Those who know, Pinui Binui is when you knock down a building. Here in Israel, they remove everybody from inside the building, like in Ramat Eshkol. They have older buildings. They want to add like elevator and mamad and make it strong for earthquakes. So, what is it called?
Urban renewal.
Pinui means to remove everybody. Binui, and you build it up. The schus of being part of MDY upgraded my life. You took it to a different level. On behalf of my wife, my children, myself, I'm emotional because of where this guy, how long it took me to get him to come to this year, and the pay rise it was worth every minute. And he's just, I ate his food this Shabbos. He made food. I didn't, my wife is a chutzlaritz. He made food. Unbelievable. You're a great cook, by the way. Mom, on behalf of my wife, my children, myself, we would like to wish you and your family much health, happiness, and shefa nachas. Benny, opening it up. Whoa. Look at this. Why? Because you're worried that I might. The rebelli. Mitamidcha b'yom doiv ben Rachel. I wants me to daven for him. Gee. What is this? What kind of siddur? I got to open it up. The gifts are starting to come in. Baruch Hashem, He gave it to me here. I don't have to schlep it back there to Israel.
And the tears are great for ratings.
It's always good for That's all we care about.
On the private jet, there's no limitation on luggage.
Let's say it's not as good as that one. Oh, it is that one. Wow. Woo! What is this? Art School did what special for me? With the cover, the whole zach? Wow. Choshuv. Wow, Yishkoyach Gadol Ma'ay, thank you. I love you, man. What a guy. What a guy. Unbelievable. Choshuv Mod. All right, so anybody that bought me a siddur for the Shabbaton, we got to go. Wow, unbelievable. Beautiful. Huh? What do we have here? I see Rabbi Weissfish. That's what I see. Shalom Aleichem. What else do I see here? Oh, it's all Manchester, London, guys. And Yerushalayim also? Slutz. Not Slutz. Lutz. I see. It says Yerushalayim on the bottom. Are we going to learn some Torah today? Givaldik. Okay. Shkoyach, guys, in Zoom. Wow. Okay. Oh, I think there might be more. Hold on. Official mitzvah motivators in honor of Miss Rivki Ashkenazi for Herculean efforts. He tries to trip me up every single time. Efforts, Herculean, I guess I could do. Efforts in facilitating the accommodations for the multitudes of MDY families, including ours. She and her family should be zoicha to great things. Listen, Rivki, just because he did this for you doesn't mean you should give him better floors and bigger rooms. You know what I'm saying? I know the trick. Don't. Just keep with it. Yishkoyach Rivki and Mark. She learned from her father, Mark, a guy that doesn't sleep, works crazy hours for MDY without pay. Unbelievable. Yishkoyach. MDYR. Refuah Shleima Yonatan Eitam Ben Be'asheva Bracha. Refuah Shleima Mordechai Ben Esther. Refuah Hayela Daniel Zeh Ben Ayelet Esther. Rabbi Isai, here we go. Eyes are a little foggy. It's givaldik. You love it. Hold on. All you care about is the ratings, Eli. All you care. If I would have thrown up that night, that was like rich. We had the pail right next to his givaldik. Torah bottom. Hamenasich shloishis lugim mayim. We're holding Daf Kuf Yudam Beis, fire lunch in the bottom. First, we're going to talk about pouring the water. Then we're going to flip right into the wine. Hamenasich shloishis lugim mayim. So that's the minimum. 3 lug of water bechag on sukkos. That's the only time you pour water on the mizbeach is on sukkos. If you do that bachutz, outside of the Beis Hamikdash, we continue with the whole sugi of things that you're not supposed to do outside. Chayav, Yechayev Kares. If you filled up this kli, I'm just showing you. Okay, we don't need to see this because this is really for the next thing. If you filled it up For Sukkos, you're chayiv. Ask the Gemara, my benayu, what is the difference? You have to fill it up for Sukkos. If you don't fill it up for Sukkos, if you take this cup of water and you spill it outside the Beis HaMikdash, why would I be chayiv? It has to be because this cup of water is for the Nisuch HaMayim of Sukkos. This is special water. I had intent that I'm going to pour this on the Mizbech inside. Then I went and I poured it outside. So then what are they arguing? What is Rebbe Lazar saying? Oh, if you filled it up for Sukkos, then you're chayiv. The Tanna Kamma also says you have to fill it up for Sukkos. My benayu. Omer Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. The machlokes is, I'm just thinking to myself that in 7.5 years, the times that I used a tissue, a middle shear, are less than 5. In 7.5 years. And maybe a few times that I cried, but those were more for the eyes, not for the nose. To go like this, not by covet. I'm getting old, and I'm starting to let things slip. All right. You look. Now you're going to go, when you go through Shas, Mark, Ashkenazi, all these guys are going through from brachas, they'll try to find places.
Dave will find it in a minute.
Dave, oh. Dave, if it's more, lo safta.
Blame it on the dead rights.
So, here's the Shaila. It doesn't say it in the Gemara exactly. What does it mean if there's a shear? The question is, are you allowed to fill the kli with more than 3 lug or even less than 3 lug? In other words, when you fill up the kli, does it be exactly 3 lug, or it could be even more? But if you hold it has to be exact, it has to be exact. It can't be less and it can't be more. Now, according to Rebbe Lazar, it has to be exact. Not a drop more and not a drop less. And according to Chachamim, it could even be more. Okay, so that's one machlokes. Rav Papa Omar. Now, if you hold that you can have more water, more than 3 lug, so then the kli wasn't mekadosh anything. So you put in a kli, you have a giant kli that holds 5 lug instead of 3 lug, and you put in too much, so nothing becomes kaddish. Rav Papa Omar. What?
The second you get to 3, it's kaddish.
No. What's kaddish? Which part? Nothing. It doesn't have kedusha. No. I don't think so. I hear what you're asking, but it doesn't. The fact is, it doesn't remain kaddish. Rav Papa Omar. V'karvu nesachim b'midbar kumifligi. In other words, everybody holds you need exactly 3. You can't go more than 3. Just what? As we're going to see in the Gemara soon, it's a shaila whether or not there was wine pouring in the midbar. Now, if there was wine pouring in the midbar, then when they came into Eretz Yisrael, the way it worked, Klal Yisrael comes into Eretz Yisrael, and there's a 14-year period where they conquered and, what's the next word? Divided. Conquered and divided. Nachla. Right, we know right after the 14 years, there's a Mishkan, the whole thing. And that we'll see later. But during those 14 years, what happened? Now, if there was Nesachim in the Midbar, if they brought wine in the Midbar, so when Klal Yisrael comes into Eretz Yisrael, then they continue to bring wine. You see on the side, it brings the pasuk here, Daber b'nei Yisrael v'amart aleim ki savayu al eretz mishveiseichem. You enter Eretz Yisrael, Hashem ani noisin lachem. The question is, what happened? What is the Torah telling us to do when you come in? So, if there was Nesachim in the Midbar, so obviously the Torah is not saying, oh, bring Nesachim when you come into Eretz Yisrael, because we already brought Nesachim. We're already bringing wine in the Midbar. So we continue to bring wine in the Midbar. So then what? Then the Torah is saying that even on the small bama ktana, what's small bama? It could be massive, but it means your private bama in your backyard when you come into Eretz Yisrael. Because we don't have a Beis HaMikdash yet in Eretz Yisrael. We don't have a place for it. So the Torah is saying, even when you bring a carbon on your bama in your backyard, you bring the Nesachim. Now think about it. Does the Torah tell you to bring it in a klisharis or without a klisharis? It's in your private backyard. With a klisharis or without a klisharis? Without, it's impossible. You can't use a kli sharis. You don't have a kli sharis. Well, you think everybody has a golden kli in their backyard? Kli sharis is, even if you did, it's reserved for the Beis Hamikdash, for a special place, a Bama G'dayla. So Nachamal, the Torah is saying you brought Nesachim in the Midbar. Continue bringing these Nesachim when you come into Eretz Yisrael, meaning bring it in your backyard, meaning without a kli sharis. I don't want you to bring it with a kli sharis. But if the Torah is, if there was no Nesachim in the Midbar, oh man, what's this? What are you showing me here, Gershon? It's coming up. It's me blowing my nose. It's in the last few days only. So, so if they didn't bring the Nesachim in the Midbar, then the Torah is saying, bring the Nesachim when you come inside into Eretz Yisrael. So, Reb Lazar is going to say that you need a kli, and according to the Tanakama, you don't need a kli. Another machlokes Ravina Amar b'lemedim nisuch hamayim nisuch hayayim pligi. According to everybody, we're going to go back. According to everybody, there was nisuch, there was nesachim, there was wine in the midbar, and you don't need a kli sharis. There's wine in the midbar, so the Torah is saying continue doing your nesachim when you come into Eretz Yisrael, meaning you don't need a kli sharis. However, the question is, I learned the water from the wine. There was wine, but what about water? Just like the wine does not need a kli sharis, maybe water also doesn't need kli sharis. No, or perhaps water does need a kli sharis. Water is different than the wine. Torah Rabbanan. New sugya. Daf Kufiyat Aleph Amid Aleph. 110 daf in the Zevachim. Hamanasach shleisha lugin yayin. Now we're talking about wine. If you pour 3 lug of wine, which is the minimum of wine that you pour, 3 lug, bachutz, outside of the Beis Hamikdash, chayav yichayav kares. Rebbe Lazar, Rebbe Shimon. What do you want me to do? Pose? Rebbe Lazar, Rebbe Shimon, Oimer, Vushi Kitchum Bekli. David, you're not going to get a shidduch like this. You got to decide what? Huh?
Guess you want the selfies. I sent him one.
Yershi, tell me you just ruined 3 shidduchim. Vushi Kitchum Bekli. Rebbe Lazar, Rebbe Shimon, Oimer, Vushi Kitchum Bekli. You're chai. Oh, mamish like we said before. Same thing like we said before. V'hushi kitchen b'kli, Rebbe Lazar says. As the Gemara Ma'avinai, what does he add? What's the machlokes here? They all hold you have to do a kli. So we're going to come up with new machlokes over here. Omer Rav Bar Yitzchok Beirutze Midos Ikebenayu. We know what that is. His Beirutze Midos. Check this out. Oh, it even has noise, like no, it's like the new generation, all the new kids that are born in the last 5 years. They grow up with these noise machines. You know about this, right? It's the only, it says on Instagram or YouTube, it says that that's the only way they could grow up, so they do it. It's the best. Because then if you don't have it, then they can't sleep for this. It's a whole, you should see the fear. I saw a parent once that his kid is used to sleeping with a sound machine because it's great. They don't hear anything from outside, but then all of a sudden the batteries went out. 3 a.m. The guy's like a deer in the headlights. What do I do now? The kid's going to be up the whole night. Do not do it. Shtusim. Tough. The 3rd kid, the chap. So what's the shayla here? You see this? This is the overflow above the rim.
Surface tension. Viscosity. No.
I'm not talking about tension. I'm not talking about why it works, why it doesn't work. I get it. You went to college and you're a big. I don't know who's that? Who threw that out there? You? Did you go to college? A little bit. That's the only thing you remember from there. Great. No, we're talking about anything above the rim. I'm talking about basketball there, and he's talking about surface tension. Anything above the rim, whether or not is the kli mekadosh it. It's not in the kli. It's above the kli. Now, why does it remain above the kli? Who cares? Surface tension. Google it. That's not today's shir. It's beyond my scope. The point is that if it's above the rim, whether or not, that's the whole machlokes here, great. According to Rebbe Lazar, no, it's not kaddish. You see that? Anything above the rim in this beautiful picture is not kaddish. It has to be below the rim. According to Tanakam, above the rim is also kaddish. That's all machlokes. How do you see that in the words? I'm not exactly sure. Rava berei the Rabba Omar, Rava the son of Rabba, different Rava. Korvun is sochem bebama ike benayu. Were there nesachim on the smaller bama? In other words, the bama in your backyard, which is a bama ktana, or did they pour wine over there? Oh, but look at that in Tanois. It's the same machlokes. The sanya bama siachadin it's richon nesachim. The Rebbe the chachamim tu nesachim. We have a machlokes tanoim whether or not there's wine poured on a private bama. And by the way, it's the same machlokes as another machlokes which we already mentioned. Now it's chazara. This sanya. Ki savayu. It says in the pasuk ki savayu el eretz Moshe v'seichem. Lahatino nesachim bebama gdoila akasim medaber. That the Torah is telling us that there's no nesachim in the midbar, and therefore what? When you come into Eretz Yisrael, I want you to start doing nesachim for the very first time on the major bama. Maybe the pshat is that it goes in the smaller bama, meaning that in the midbar they did bring wine. They did pour wine in the mizbeach. Therefore, when the Torah tells you to continue pouring wine, the Torah is telling you continue pouring wine in your backyard without a klisharis. No. I'm telling you, for all the bamas. Okay? I'm sorry, not all the bamas, but bama hanegeges lekulchem, the major bama, the bama that works for everybody, for the bama gdoila. He argues and he says the exact opposite. The Torah is telling you, you should continue bringing the sachem because you were bringing the midbar, continue bringing now also on your private bama, meaning without a glishar is a kasmidab. Maybe the Torah is telling you that they didn't bring the Nesachim in the midbar, and you should start bringing for the very first time when you come into Eretz Yisrael on the public bama. It says, plural. In other words, this bama is everywhere. There's only one bama gdaila, so if it's talking in a plural lashon, it means on all your private bamas as well. So what comes out from this? Comes out, the Rabbi Shmuel covered us talking about midbar, so it works out beautifully. According to Rabbi Shmuel, they didn't bring nisachim in the midbar, and that's why the Torah tells you to start bringing in an Abba Magdaila when you come into Eretz Yisrael. Well, the Rabbi Akiva covered us talking about midbar, but according to Rabbi Akiva, where they brought nisachim in the midbar, so what's the Torah telling you? Continue bringing the nisachim in your private backyard. Great, nusugyo. Okay, there's a question. Let's see if anybody could guess the answer. I said guess. Like last week I asked here in our minyan, by the way, it was a big schus. Shabsi Cohen saw our minyan in the morning, right? No talking. Unbelievable, right? 90 people in this room, they're packed. People standing out the door, nobody talks. Nobody talks. So I started this new shtick, because I say every week, I said, Kriya Shema next week is 9:14. So the other remembers, because that's the only reason I didn't want to open the minyan. One of the only, besides people are upset that we open the minyan, we're taking away from them, whatever. Not negate to that. But the main thing is that after Zman Kriya Shema, I don't like davening after Zman Kriya Shema. So I daven a little bit before the whole thing, but I don't want to be machshel people. To me, it seems I'm helping some, but being machshel others. So I announce every week, this is when Zman Kriya Shema is. So then I said, okay, let's do it a little bit more hands-on. So I say, could anybody guess when Zman Kriya Shema is next week? So I get them to start thinking a little bit about it. So one clown last week, he says, 9:12. I said, guess. I didn't say look in the book and then tell me. I said, guess. So I'm going to say the same thing. Rabbi said, can anybody guess? If you look in the book and you know, don't tell me. How did Klal Yisrael have wine in the desert? How did they have wine in the desert? If you know, Tom, if you know the answer, don't answer. Think about it first. Not that you heard it in yeshiva once. If you don't know, who?
Before you even asked the question, I asked ChatGPT, did they have wine in the desert after the Jews left Egypt?
So don't tell me the answer yet. Hold on. So, how did Klal Yisrael have wine in the midbar for the 40 years they were there? If they did Nesachim on a mizbeach, you need a lot of wine. A lot of wine. No? What's the answer? Anybody?
Brought it up from Egypt.
Huh? They didn't even bring bread from Mitzrayim, so they brought a lot of gold. I hear? Atzei Rosen they got from Yaakov Avinu, they got from this. Okay. That's one answer. There's a much better answer. What's ChatGPT say?
When they went through the Yamsuf, they had trees and vines and.
I don't know if they had fruit. No, what does it say? Avi?
They had wine as what they took out. The Torah doesn't present wine.
Okay, the kids. The Medrash says something fascinating. This is a Medrash. They got wine from the grapes that the Meraglim brought back from Eretz Yisrael. As shkolos, they brought back these massive grapes. That's one Medrash. Somebody just sent me Reb Chaim Kanievsky. He says the whole thing. They had a bear. Okay, or they had people coming by in the desert. They bought stuff from Goyim. It's possible. By the way, Avi coming out. I'll share with you a very interesting. Ashgacha brought us a kiss from Hashem today. 7.5 years ago, literally almost to the day. I'm talking about we're off by a week maybe. Is when we started YouTube for the very, very first time. YouTube. Eli Kamiansky, Avi's brother, started coming to Shir. First, it was a whole. Avi says, "I have a brother. He just came. Could he come to your siyum? I did this fancy siyum in my house, and it was expensive. I remember it was 250 shekel, I think, a person. Just the caterer. Forget the other stuff. He says, "Could he come? Can I bring my brother and his wife?" I think I said, "Brother and wife." Yeah, of course. Bring your brother and your wife. 500 shekel cha-ching. I'm thinking, this is what's going through my mind at the time. I said, yeah, but he asked me, why am I going to say no? Good friend, Avi. Of course. Kitzer, little did I know. It's like everything else, like David Solomon. So I invite him to the thing. He sits there. Okay, Shalom Aleichem, this, that. And then he starts coming to the shir the next day. We were starting, what is it, Chulin? I remember what? No, so it was in the Menachas. Started Menachas. Comes to me 2 days. So we're 10 days away. Mamish 10 days away. Comes to me, Mamish, the first day. He says, listen, you're already recording this. Why don't you just put it on YouTube? I'm like, what's YouTube? Like, I think I knew what YouTube was, but like, what do you mean? He's like, no, you could go live. You could do live. Like, you do it here and it goes to the whole world. He starts explaining this to me. I'm like, I don't know. Like, so let me show you. He goes with this, that. He goes in, pushes, fetch, boom, it's on YouTube. Then we have this guy that came here, boxed. He's watching it. Like 2 days later, he told me, I spoke to him after davening. He says, I needed Pshat and Menachas and a Rashi, and I didn't understand it. So I figured online. So I found your shir, and you explained it to me. You brought a string, you put it through a tube. That's how. And then since then, he's part of the shir. This is Eli Kamiansky's idea from 7.5 years ago. So, anyways, he comes to the Yisrael, he's davening here, and Gershon Ben Moshe, not knowing that it's chazak, he doesn't realize chazak. He's chazak. You give somebody chashiv, maybe you give to me. I don't know what you gave. I usually don't know. I don't take aliyah, and I tell him don't give me chazak. I don't. This is the first time I got aliyah here, probably in 2-3 months. Anyway, so he says, we'll give aliyah to Eli Kamiansky. Also he goes chazak. He starts. Gershon tells him, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to give him. It's not a big deal, but maybe there's maybe shopsy. I don't know what. Give it to. Yeah, I know. I get it. Maybe Avi Kamiansky. Why Eli Kamiansky? So as soon as he had the aliyah, I said, and I don't talk usually about this, but I thought it was important for the island tonight. I said, why I got the aliyah? Chazak. Because exactly 7.5 years ago, he's the one that put us on YouTube because there's thousands and thousands of Yidden. And Gershon didn't know. It wasn't like, let me give him chazak. He said, I'm just going to give him shvi. It just happened to be, he told me afterwards, it happened to be the chazak aliyah. So it's shkoyach to Eli Kamiansky. What? Who?
The subscribers today said in the show.
33,000 subscribers came out. What? This week we'll get there. What are you showing me here? August 17, 2018. That's the first time? Okay, yeah. That's. But the point is 7.5 years ago. It's the beginning of Shas for the YouTube. That's why I said in the thing 7.5 years ago. That's what I meant. Shas. Beautiful. Okay. Daf 7 of Menachem. This is off by 17 days in 7.5 years. It's very chashuv. Okay. Weiter gegangen. Oh, the Israelis are coming in 15 minutes, so we get it. Huh?
Go to the book, type in the word status, okay.
Oh, I should tell the Oilam. Okay. Shavzi Cohen does a tremendous job getting people. Rabbi Isai, go into the Daf Bat. If you're not part of it, get the number immediately. I used it even tonight. I use it just to see where we get to, and it's very, very fast. You put in just the word Lamashal, Daf, D-A-F, it gives you that day's Daf on the spot. You don't have to say the Masechta anything. You just put in that word, because it knows that you're talking. Go into that bot. If you have WhatsApp, and you just write the word status. Boom. a video will come on your thing that you could send out to people, and because of that thing, people will come to they'll come to the shir through you, and you get all the schusim. Tremendous. Weiter gegangen.
What happened to blow your nose?
What about blowing your nose?
He's gonna play
Huh?
you have a dry sand.
Oh, this thing? He wants to see me blowing my nose. What is this? אני מקפיד על שלוש, אני אומר לאנשים שלוש. Oh, this is me showing how to blow a nose, not show blowing. I don't know what I was doing there. Okay, fine. We'll get all the blowing of the noses. Bezer Shem will be all good. Weiter. Where are we holding? Oh. Reb Nechem Yoimer. We have to do all this in 15 minutes. Not a big deal. Reb Nechem Yoimer Shior Adam Shekrim Bachutz Chayav. Reb Nechem says, if you do this, Shior Adam. You all remember this? L'maisa, we've got to take the sound off of this. Shior Adam is the leftover blood. After you do Zrika, you pour you throw the blood on the Mizbeach. What do you do with the leftover? So you put it into the drainage over here. Now, Reb Nechemia says that if you do that, you pour it outside of the Beis Hamikdash Yechayev. That can only mean one thing. That must be that pouring of the blood into the drainage is part of the avodah. It's not, oh, I have nothing to do with this, let me put it away. Fine. Okay. What does this? That if you put the blood on how can you tell me that you're chayiv? It's not ma'akiv. It's just the leftover of a mitzvah. It's interesting why he answers him this. He has another answer the Gemara says later, and this proves us something. Now what? He says, let me prove to you. You're done with the animal. How are you done? Rabbis, we learned Zevachim, so we know that what finishes off the avodah is the zrika of the blood. After that, if you do things, you don't do things, it's not ma'akiv. The ivarim and the b'darim, you don't put it on the mizbeach. No, it's not the end of the world. You still get a kapara. Shem sheyar mitzvah v'amakrim b'chutz chayav. Yet, even though the blood is the what's ma'akiv, the ivarim now, but if you take the ivarim and bring it outside on the mizbeach, outside of the Beis Hamikdash, you're chayav kares. So you see that even though it's not ma'akiv, you could still get kares. So the blood also. So it's not ma'akiv, but you brought it outside, you should get kares. Amar loy, no. You know why? Because it's a brand new avodah called putting the imurim and whatever meat you have to put onto the mizbeach. New avodah. It's the end of avodah. It's not the beginning of avodah. So therefore, since it's a new avodah to put a imurim on, that's why you chayiv kares. But blood is the end of the avodah. That's why you shouldn't be chayiv. V'misa, and if it's true that Shiore Adam is ma'akiv, leimelei, so Reb Nechem should tell Rebbe Kiva, Hanami ma'akvi. What do you mean? Shiore Adam is ma'akiv. Diyufta. Now I have another answer completely. This is machlokes in the leftover blood that belongs inside the heichel. But the blood that we're talking about, blood that belongs in the Azara, nobody holds that it's makif. So Kikamar Reb Nechemia b'Shemaim apnimim. So what Reb Nechemia is talking about inner bloods, and those are makif. Kitan Yahi b'Shemaim chitzayim. So you ask me a question from some another place. That's talking about. So you could always answer. Oh, it's not makif. The outer ones, the inner ones are makif. Says the Gemara. So Rashi takes out this thing. But the point over here is, how come Reb Nechemia didn't answer Reb Akiva that he was talking about blood, the inner bloods? Why does he go and tell him, Pedorim and Emurim? Tell him, no, we're talking about two different bloods. One is Maki, one is not. Reb Nechemia, but at the end of the day, Ledvar Reb Akiva Kamar. He himself holds that shirayim is ma'akev. The blood is part of the avodas ma'akev. You're saying, according to you, that you hold it's not ma'akev, I'll still tell you that, look, a varim, a murim, then he starts telling him about a murim dar. Zok the Mishnah. Hamoilik is ha'oiv bifnim. Here, let's do this for a second together. I think this will help a lot. If you do malika, that's the only way to kill a bird, to shech the bird. I don't want to say shech because that's shchita. But to kill a bird in the Beis HaMikdash, the only way is to do it with your thumb. Malika. So if you do malika inside the Beis HaMikdash, and you take that bird and you bring it outside the Beis HaMikdash, what's the halacha, Rabbi Isai? You chayiv kares. Why? Because you did what you need to do. You killed it perfectly with your thumb, and then you took it outside. What about you did malika outside, and you brought it outside? You potter. Why? There's no such thing as malika outside. So by you doing malika outside of Beis HaMikdash, you made an avela. That's all you did. You can't eat this animal. We're going to call that number 2. What's number 3? Shchita inside. You don't shech the bird. We're talking about birds now. You don't take a knife and cut a bird inside the Beis HaMikdash. So if you did that inside the Beis HaMikdash, and then you took the bird, the dead bird, and you put it on the mizbeach outside the Beis HaMikdash, you potter. Very similar to malika outside. Malika outside and shchita inside are the same thing. They both don't work. Malika doesn't work outside the Beis HaMikdash, and shchita doesn't work inside the Beis HaMikdash. And finally, for number 4, shchita outside, which is perfect. That's what you do to a bird. You shech the bird outside, and we're talking about a bird that belongs in the Beis HaMikdash, but you shechted it outside, and then you put it on a mizbeach outside, so you chayiv. Yeah, these are the 4 cases. Let's see inside. It's very important to know this. We're going to be using 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of actually talking about cases. I'll say the case also, but the numbers help a lot now. Hamoilik is ha'oiv. Why? Because it's the words are easy. It just gets confusing because malika, shchita, inside, outside. By the way, they all end out the same thing. Hela b'chutz, hela b'chutz, hela b'chutz. It's all the same. The question is, what did he do inside? The malika, or did he do malika outside? Shchita inside, shchita outside. That's it. That's the whole nafkamina. Hamoilik is ha'oiv b'fnim. Now we're doing chazara. He did malika to a bird inside the Beis HaMikdash. That's what you're supposed to do. B'fnim. V'hela b'chutz, but then he took the dead bird and he brought it outside. Chayiv is chayiv kares. Malak b'chutz, but if he did something you're not supposed to do, you don't do malika outside the Beis HaMikdash. And if you do malika to a bird outside the Beis HaMikdash, what happens? The bird becomes a nevela. V'hela b'chutz pater. Next case, that's case number 2. Case number 3. Hashoichet esoif. He shechted a bird bifnim inside the Beis HaMikdash. So what happened? He made it possible. V'hela b'chutz, and he took it outside pater, because all he did was he passled the bird. Now there's a pasuk. No, but it's kachim. He took a oila bird and he shechted it. We're talking about kachim. Shacha b'chutz v'hela b'chutz. He shechted a bird. Matzliach, were you here before? This is your first time here? First time. Shalom Aleichem Matzliach. What's your first name? Yehuda Matzliach. I told him I had a chazor. It was good because he asked me, because we were talking about different nisyonis that I had. He had, this one had. We were talking about outside. He says, what's pshat? They had all these nisyonis. So I told him what I told the Oilam like a month ago. I think it's beautiful. You have to remember it. I don't know if they made a short out of it. Maybe they did. Who knows? I'll you know what I'm talking about? I said, not pshat that we live this beautiful life. Everything's gewaldic. And all of a sudden we have a bump in the road. Wow. Now what do? Now we have to go over the bump. No, the pshat is we're here to have bumps in the road. It just happens to be that sometimes we have a good time also. No? It's the opposite of what everybody thinks. Everybody thinks, oh, supposed to have a normal life, get married, everything's gewaldic, have a few kids. Oi, I lost my job. Oh, wow, what a bummer. No, you're supposed to, you came here to lose your job, you came here to have a machla, you came here to have a this, you came here to have a that, and it just so happens to be that there's all the gishmaka stuff on the side. Okay. Enough, what? That was the short? Okay. Shacha b'chutz v'hela b'chutz chayav. If he shechted outside, and then he brought it, oy vey, tell these Israelis not to show up. Lock the door quickly. Shacha b'chutz v'hela b'chutz. He did the shechita outside. That's where you're supposed to do shechita, but it's a kachim bird. V'hela b'chutz, and he put it on top of the mizbeach, chayav. What is it chayav? Once or twice, Rabbi Isai, how many yisurim was he over here? 2 yisurim. Shalom aleichem to you also. Everybody's new here. Wow. Maisa shahaya, I'll just tell you, I thought it was a funny maisa, and then I asked Yoshi to make me a picture for my funny maisa. Oh, this guy, that's what he was doing. Oy vavoy. Okay. He didn't listen to me, but okay. Basically, a woman family. Every this is in the shtetl. Every yontiv, the sheikh will come and shech the chicken for the family. So now they're looking for the sheikh to come, and they find out he can't come. He just can't come. He got sick. He couldn't come. So now they're all to do. They don't have a chicken for yontiv. What are they going to do? So the wife goes to the drawer. She takes a big knife. She says, "Listen, this is sharp. You're going to be sheikh. You got to shech the bird. There's nothing you can do about it." Boom. She gives him the knife. Go outside, shech the chicken. So he goes outside with the chicken, and he doesn't come back. So she looks out the window. This is what she sees when she opens up the window. The guy's fainted on the floor, and the chicken is jumping on his body like he's laughing his way through. I just thought it was a funny ma'aseh. Almost no shaykhs there. It's shochet b'chutz. He went outside to shech, and he realized he's not really a shaykhet. He couldn't handle the blood situation, and that's what happened to him. Nimtzo derech hechsher b'fnim, turi b'chutz. So it comes out that you know what, Kobe worked hard. I told him not to do this, but he insisted to do it. Malika. Inside, chutz, shchita, okay, whatever. I just wanted those straight lines. I like straight lines. Here, I'm going back to mine. Here we go. Shacha v'chutz ve'ela v'chutz. Sorry. Nimtzo derech sheiroi b'fnim. How do you make a bird kosher inside the Beis Hamikdash? With malika. P'turi b'chutz. If you use that system outside of Beis Hamikdash, that makes you potter. Derech sheir b'chutz. How do you make a bird kosher outside of Beis Hamikdash? With shchita. So if you use that method inside the Beis Hamikdash, you're potter. Now, this is today's Gemara. Reb Shimon Oimer, Kol shechayavim olav b'chutz. Anything that you are chayiv, remember these words, you're chayiv on him outside. Chayavim hakayotzim b'mifnim shalom aleichem. I didn't say hello to him. What's his name? What?
Benny Kornfein.
Benny Kornfein, shalom aleichem, from Switzerland. Unbelievable. Kol shechayavim olav, huh?
Finished the whole second of MDY.
Which one? Makis?
Official.
You got money? How much money?
Turkish euros.
Dollars. I'm talking about what do they have there? Pounds? Francs.
The only real currency.
Yeah, the only real. Shalom aleichem, mazel tov. Okay, we got to go. The Israelis are starting to come in. Now he says this line, besides. So on this chart right over here, besides number 3. Besides, that I agree, you potter. But what did he say? What exactly did he say? So that's today's sugya until the Mishnah, and it's very, very simple with this chart. Hi.
Sponsors.
Whoa. This, by the way, is the bot. They just stuck it in. So if you want to do the bot, QR coded. It's gewaldig to have this bot on your phone. I'm telling you, it works. There's a lot of stuff. You do city, it'll give you the satellite location. You put the word status, gewaldig. Next. Turning in the DAF, sponsored by DAF Global, special experts in international payments. Encore Healthcare, l'schus refuah shlema l'yeled Michal ben Shulamis, l'schus hatzlacha l'kol klal Yisrael. We're holding over here. Ask the Gemara, Hayach Sheiroi, what are you telling me? This is the Hechsher. Derech Hechsher machutz, Hayach Sheiroi chiyuvayu. It's not a Hechsher, that makes it chayev. It makes it not good. You're right, Tni chiyuvah, so you have to stick in the word chiyuv. Reb Shimon Oimer, what's Reb Shimon referring to? What is he arguing on? Let's say he's talking about the first 2 things. Amalika. If he does the malika inside the Beis Hamikdash, you bring it outside, you're chayev. 1, that's 1. 2, if he did the malika outside the Beis Hamikdash, where you're not supposed to do, then you potter. And on that, Reb Shimon comes to argue. Reb Shimon, just like you're chayev on number 1, so too on number 2 you're chayev, not potter. The problem is it doesn't fit into his words. Why does he say that whatever you chayev outside? No, he's saying just like number 1. What's number 1? Malika inside. So he should have said just like inside you're chayev, so too outside. That's not what he said. He said just like outside, so too inside. Doesn't work. Okay. The Gemara at the end is going to go back to this, that maybe this is what he meant. Maybe what he meant to say is just like number 2. Rabbi says, see number 2, Malika outside, you're potter, so to number 1, you should be potter. He's not saying chayiv, he's saying potter. That also doesn't work. He should have said a different words. Whatever since you're not chayiv outside, that's not what he said. He says, Kol shechayav ma'olav b'chutz. And he should have said Kol she'ein chayavim olav b'chutz. The word ein is missing, right? Because we're saying just like number 2 you're potter, so to number 1 you're potter. That's not what he said. He said just like you're chayiv, so too you should be chayiv. He didn't say you're potter. Okay, so that doesn't work. Ela seifa. Now we have to go to the number 3 and 4. What does it say in the 3 and 4? If you shech the bird inside the Beis Hamikdash, that's not what you're supposed to do, so therefore you're potter. But you are supposed to shech birds outside. Therefore, just like you're not chayiv in number 3, so too, that's why 4 should also be potter. The problem is that he says you're chayiv, just like you're chayiv, you should be chayiv. He should have said potter. The same question that we had before. Yeah? Rabbi, is he holding with me? It's poshet. Elo. Just like in number 4. You're chayiv. Oh, that makes more sense with what he said. He said, oh, just like you're chayiv, so too you should be chayiv. But the only one that's chayiv is number 4. 4 you're chayiv, and 3 is potter, so he's arguing at number 3. Let's flip 3 to make it chayiv. But the problem is, he says mefurish, the last words of the Mishnah is that number 3, I'm not arguing number 3. Number 3 is going to remain potter. How could you change number 3 to be chayiv? Yeah, you with me? It's good? Easy. Omer Ziri, check this out. Oh, here we go. Rabbi says, check this out. We're adding 5 and 6. So 5 and 6 is identical to 3 and 4. Just we're talking about, there's an animal here, not a bird. We're talking about behemoths and at night. Okay? So shchita inside at night is potter, just like 3. 3 and 5 are the same. 3 shchita b'fnim potter, and 5 is also potter. And 6 is chayiv. 6 is like 4, chayiv. Great. So what did the Ziri gain? Because over here, it's a little different because it's behema and shchita at night, and we don't have the concept in Allah lo yerid. That's the only difference. This is what Reb Shimon is arguing. In other words, Ziri is saying that you're missing from the Mishnah 2 cases. It's a chesuri mechzer kind of. It was missing, but it's understood. When Reb Shimon started talking, he obviously was talking about a different case. A case not mentioned in the Mishnah, case number 5 and 6. Great. That the Tanna Kama holds 5 and 6 like this, potter and chayiv, and Reb Shimon argues, says no, they're both chayiv. Like number 6. Reb Shimon Omer, does he argues, I argue 5 and 6 are both chayiv, not potter. By the way, besides number 3. Number 3 I agree is potter. 5 and 6 is chayiv, 3 is potter. That's what he's arguing. Great. Rav Amar, Kabbalah b'kli chol likibenayu. Rav is doing the same exact idea as Ziri, but let's check this out. A different 5 and 6. If you makabel with a mundane, let's say your negelvasser, what you wash your hands for hamoitzi with, you do a Kabbalah with kli chol likibenayu. Over here also in Molo Yered, Hamakabel kli chol b'fnim v'hela b'chutz potter. Here we have a potter and a chayiv, 5 and 6. Comes Reb Shimon says, no, both 5 and 6 are, anybody? Chayiv. But I'm not going to argue on number 3. In that case, you potter. Now, says the Gemara, Shmuel bar Rav Yitzchak, Hamoilek, oy b'fnim v'heloi b'chutz chayiv. According to Avuda Shmuel, if you shech the bird inside v'heloi b'chutz chayiv, shoichet bachutz. No, I'm sorry. Malak. Wait, wait. Hamalek oif bifnim, which is number 1. Hamalek oif bifnim, behele bachutz chayev. Malek bachutz, behele bachutz, potter. V'Reb Shimon mechayev. Oh. So now it's 1 and 2. You could say the whole thing like we started off the whole sugya. Reb Shimon is arguing, and 1 and 2, the reish of the Mishnah. That what? 2 over here, the Tanna Kama says potter. Reb Shimon is going to say chayev. We had a problem with that. It doesn't fit into the wording. Reb Shimon Hasam Kai. So Reb Shimon actually is not 5 and 6. You don't have to add anything to the Mishnah. We're going back to what we had before. What was it? Just 4 cases in the Mishnah. And he's arguing on number 2. Tanna Kama says number 2, Malika B'chutz, is potter. Reb Shimon says Malika B'chutz is chayev. Now, what do we do with the wording? Utni, fine. We'll just fix up the wording a little bit. Ni kol shechayav b'fnim ve'el b'chutz. Now the wording makes a lot of sense. It fits right in. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful week. A good Voch. Shkoyach for coming.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.